he also was talking about enlightenment and people seeking it, and that's like the thing getting in their way. And that's not the first time that I've heard that. Yeah. It's like all this seeking that we do. You know how like millions of dollars spent on books on like how to like figure it out. Right. And like and he's like, all of that stuff that you're doing is getting in the way of it. Welcome, modern day mystics, fellow truth seekers, James and Justin, back at it again with another reaction video. And we're doing another request. This was for Osho and what is your purpose? So we're just going to get right into it. This is kind of a lengthy video. We're going to let it play through. We'll probably stop it halfway through and talk about it, let it resume, and then end her up. Let's do it.
The first question. You have said that there are no goals in life, no purpose. And yet we are all here with enlightenment as our goal. Please speak on this. If you are here with enlightenment as your goal, you cannot be here. Physically you may appear to be here, but you cannot be with me. The goal is in the future. I am here, and a mind which is goal-oriented is bound to be in the future. We will never meet. I know you are here to attain something. That's why you are missing it. I am here to persuade you to drop the very idea of attaining anything whatsoever. Enlightenment, moksha, nirvana, God included. If you drop this goal-oriented mind, and there is none other than goal-oriented mind, there is no other mind. If you drop it, you are enlightened.
Drop the goals.
Enlightenment is not a search. It is a realization. It is not a goal. It is the very nature of life itself. As life is, it is enlightened. It needs nothing to be added, to be improved. Life is perfect. It is not moving from imperfection to perfection. It is moving from perfection to perfection. You are here to attain something that is functioning as a barrier. Drop that barrier. Just be here. Forget about any purpose. Life cannot have any purpose. Life is the purpose. How it can have any other purpose?
It is what it is. Life
Otherwise
is
you will be in an infinite regress. Then that purpose will have another purpose. Then that another purpose will have another purpose. Life has no purpose. And that's why it is so beautiful.
It's hard to get.
Hindus have called it Leela, a play. It is not even a game. Now in the West, the word game has become very, very important. Hundreds of books have been published within 2-3 years with the title Game, the master game, the ultimate game, the game people play, and so on and so forth. But there is a difference between game and play. Hindus have called it play, not game, because even a game has something as a purpose. a result to be attained, victory to be achieved. The opponent has to be conquered. Then a play becomes a game. Then it becomes serious. Grown-ups play games. Children only play. Just the very activity is enough unto itself. It has an intrinsic end. There is no goal added to it. Life is a lila. It is a play.
That idea
And
of
the
being
moment
like
you are ready to play, you are enlightened. Try to understand from some other dimension. You are already that which you are trying to be. The more you try, the more you will miss. You leave all effort. You simply accept yourself. You just be that. Suddenly it is there. It has always been there. But you were seeking so seriously. That was the only cause of missing it. You are here to attain something, enlightenment, samadhi, satori, or something. To me, all those words are nonsense. Because they again give you a new line of desiring. They again open a door of desire.
Yeah.
In the world you desire money, power, prestige. Then you get fed up with it. Then you see the whole thing is just rubbish. Even if you get, you are defeated. If you don't get, you are defeated.
So true.
Then you come to feel that this whole thing is nonsense. Now suddenly you start playing new games. Enlightenment, meditation, yoga, God, the other world, the other source. Again, the mind is at ease. A new world of desires has opened. Now you will be after these goals. And money is not so elusive as meditation. This world, at least, is solid. That soul, that world, the other world.
All right. Well, we made it about halfway through. He said like so many things there.
So many good things, man. Like, I freaking love Osho.
You really got to listen though, right? Even because of the quality of this is like, obviously it wasn't caught on camera. It was on like a recorder or something like that.
Yeah.
And someone saved this gold mine of like him
Yeah.
talking and was like, I can't ever lose this. I'm glad someone put it online.
But can I say something?
Yeah.
He said he was talking about how adults play games and kids just play, right?
Yeah.
And that's like an idea I've tried to put out there a few times. Like, why is it so hard for us to not do competitive things? Why is it like, I just find, it's just the people I particularly interact with, but it's like games of like, where it's not a competition, we're going to do this together.
Yeah.
There's less interest in doing it. It's like, no, let's see who's better, man.
Yeah, even if it's like a board game where it's like, this board game is like us against the board. People are like, no.
Sucks.
I don't want to play that game. I want to play the game where I'm playing you against you.
Right.
But I hear what you're saying. You've alluded to the fact sometimes of like, why don't grown men chase butterflies?
I may have said something like that. Yeah.
And I think of like the scripture verse where Jesus is talking about you must become like a child to enter the kingdom of heaven.
Well, what I really said was in my most pessimistic of modes was that if I had achieved some kind of inner peace and you found me chasing butterflies in the wild, people would actually interrupt that. You'd be more likely for somebody to come and disturb that. Yeah. He's not right in the head. You got to somebody put him, hospitalize him. Yeah. For something that's like peaceful and gentle. It's like if you're not, coming to the game with some aggression. In a lot of ways, our culture is still very low.
Vibrational.
Low vibrational is
Yeah.
probably the best word,
Probably
you know.
a good word.
And I don't want to judge anybody because I'm part of it, you know. And I think we're more alike than we are different with
Yeah.
a lot of different people, right? And sometimes it can almost, if somebody's not legit enlightened or something, I don't know. Maybe it comes off a little bit like, are they putting on a face of gentleness? Like, I usually am just interested in the truth.
Yeah.
Well, how do you really feel? Like, you know, after doing all these practices of meditating and, you know, cleaning up your diet and all these different things, are you really more peaceful? Are you really more gentle? Or are you still, you know?
Well, he was
and does that
talking
matter?
about the kind of the game within the game. It's like you do it, you get it, and it's still not what you.
And in the Bible, Jesus alludes to, you know, you will not be able to enter the kingdom lest you become like children. That's why I mentioned that.
Yeah.
And he said he's comparing that adults play games
yeah.
and children play. You know, it's like there's a similarity there between those two. Maybe it's a small one, but
Yeah. But there's an added caveat towards there with the competitive nature of it, which you were talking about. But he also was talking about enlightenment and people seeking it, and that's like the thing getting in their way. And that's not the first time that I've heard that.
Yeah.
It's like all this seeking that we do. You know how like millions of dollars spent on books on like how to like figure it out. Right. And like he's like, all of that stuff that you're doing is getting in the way of it.
Just play the game. And maybe when you get into that mindset of just playing with life, then even if you are engaging in something that's like competitive, it's got a lighter vibe to it. It's like, this is not do or die for me. I'm enjoying my life because I'm approaching it from a chilled out, you know, understanding that this is play.
Yeah. He's alluding to a greater understanding by like letting go of
some of these beliefs. Seem like they're really mostly applicable if you live in an opulent situation. You know, if you actually can afford to
let everything go.
You know, I don't know if you were to give this information to somebody that was like in dire straits or something. Maybe it's like that's the thing that they're, you know, some people could use, but sometimes I get the sense that there's like, it's like a luxurious way of believing things is that, oh, I gotta just look at life as a game, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm probably saying it wrong. This is me using my own brain to try to figure out what he's saying.
I sometimes think it's probably easier for someone who comes from abundant wealth or someone who comes from rock bottom and has nothing to lose. I tend to think that getting higher knowledge might be easier to access from those points than being caught in the rat race.
Yeah.
It's the rat race, which I think he was talking about.
Yeah.
Is like, that is the thing. It's like everyone's running around like idiots trying to achieve and do all these things. And he's like, no.
Yeah.
But anyway, we should continue this on. That's halfway.
It starts to make me feel more relaxed thinking about what he's saying and what he's, you know.
And I like this video. This is kind of a more relaxed one that we've done of Osho.
Is absolutely fantasy. Now you are in a deeper ditch than before. With the first, you could realize that it is useless. With the second, now it will take millions of lives to realize that this too is useless.
Millions.
When one person comes to discover that all goals are useless, with no exception, all goals are useless, then there is nothing to do. One just has to be. One relaxes. And one relaxes so totally because there is nothing to do, there is no tension. Suddenly your boundaries melt as snow melting in the morning sun. With nothing to do, you disappear. The ego disappears. With nothing to do, nothing to be,
Get bored.
nothing to achieve, who you will be, the whole identity evaporates. This is enlightenment. Then you start a totally different way of life. you start being playful. You start being alive moment to moment. Nowhere to go. Whatsoever the life gives, you accept it with deep gratitude. Grace happens to you. This is what I'll call to become a god. The moment you start playing, living in the moment, you have become a god. I am here to persuade you that you are already gods. You may be here to become gods. That's your trip. I'm not concerned with it. I know what I am here for. Just to persuade you to look at your own face once again. To search within and not to go without searching for something which doesn't exist. Life is a purposeless play. Play of infinite forces. Beautiful if you don't have an achiever's mind. Ugly if you have ambition to become something, to be something, to do something. Relax. Drop the future completely. Only this moment exists. And this moment is eternity. And only this life is all that is there. Don't think of the other soul. Just the other day I was telling the Chinese allegory. The man returned from the middle of the river. Why he returned from the middle of the river? Because there is no other source. This is the only source. And why he started laughing? Because he suddenly realized he himself is the Buddha whom he has been seeking. Zen masters teach to their disciples that meditating, if you someday come across Buddha, kill him immediately. Don't spare a single moment. Kill him immediately. Otherwise he will lead you astray. They are right. While you are meditating, Krishna comes with his flute. It's so beautiful. Again you are dreaming. Again you are caught in a dream and desire. And Jesus comes. And you are caught in the web of the mind. It is a spider's web. And then Buddha comes. And you forget yourself. The Zen master said, kill the Buddha immediately. Clear the way. Don't allow anybody else to be there. That is, don't allow any goal to be there. Just be total, alone, in your absolute purity. This is enlightenment. I should repeat, because I know you will forget and forget and forget. You are already that which you are seeking. Let this will be the basic mantra. If you can understand this mantra, you have understood all. Give it a try. To goals you have been giving, too many lives you have already given to them. Now try to live moment to moment, as if there is no future. In the beginning it will be only as if. But by and by you will become aware that that as if is the only reality. In the beginning it may be just like acting. Soon you will realize that that acting is the only reality. You have come with a goal, but I won't allow you to remain with a goal.
First it'll feel like acting. That's what he said.
If you don't escape me, the goal is bound to drop. Just hang around a little more, and the goal is bound to drop. Either I can be here with you or the goal. You have to choose.
Well, it's easy to see why so many people loved Osho.
Yeah.
Good talker, and we've listened to a couple, like a funny one, and then like a kind of like a trickstery one, and that one was more of like a serious one.
There was so many. I was trying not to distract myself with all the things I wanted to, because usually we pause it a lot more.
Yeah.
And so this time we're kind of trying out letting it play for people that just want to watch that.
Yeah.
And it was like, man, that was the first one of those kind that we did, and that was tough. I really wanted to interject
Stop
my
it a
own
lot of
thoughts.
time.
But it's better to actually let the master do his thing, you know?
Yeah. No, he said a lot of good things. I've heard that line before about if you see the Buddha, you kill him.
Yes.
What is that? What's he mean by that?
Go and think about it.
I think, well, off the bat, I feel like sometimes people can get lost in the idea of a savior or a higher up and trying to mimic them and do all the things they're doing, and they lose themselves. They lose sense of trying to figure out what they're trying to achieve their own self. They're just copying.
Well, there's probably levels to it, but that might be one of the levels to it.
Yeah.
Is exactly what you just said, you know?
Yeah.
Don't be caught up trying to mimic it. I think that there's a difference between beginner level teachings and advanced, and I think when you get to the advanced stuff, it gets pretty crazy why you might not want to just look to a Buddha like that.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, it's probably something to do with that. Don't be, don't even be swayed by the Buddha himself. You keep on the path.
Yeah.
Or something.
And I think some of these spiritual teachers, they also purposely contradict themselves sometimes. Like, I don't know if he'd necessarily be like, well, don't listen to any of their teachings. It's weird.
I'm trying to not be too ranty, but
Yeah.
But sometimes I think, I'll throw a thought out there that sometimes they're so contradictory because the reality is everything really is pretty darn paradoxical. It's almost too hard to even talk about sometimes.
Yeah.
It's, I was trying to imagine the different types of people that get enlightened, because you hear sometimes that somebody had gotten enlightened and they work at 7-Eleven. They didn't do anything. They just kind of to themselves in secret, they're that.
Yeah.
And then you hear about people that get enlightened and they become, some guy that wears, spangly clothes and a fuzzy hat. And it's like, does that have something to do? What does that have to do with, right? And maybe it's just, this is how it plays out when different vessels have the dawning the truth of what is really going on here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope that made sense.
Yeah. On the last side note, I loved how it was just showing that picture when he was talking. It was kind of a very nostalgic-y picture. Yeah. You could sit and look at that picture for a while, everything that was going on there.
I couldn't. I'd be bored too.
I found it interesting as he was talking, and I was looking at the picture, just like the time period.
Yeah.
And the people behind him. If you ever seen the movie, you could see the lawyer of Osho's was there behind him, his hands up like that. This is kind of interesting. But anyway, folks, let us know what you think about this video, what you think Osho was trying to say inside of that video. We'd love to hear from you. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like. Don't forget to subscribe, share this with a friend, and everybody, until next time,
stay spiritual.